Hey everyone, so I'm here to do a review on the Beauty Express for Brows and Eyes by Anastasia, or the I want to say Anastasia every time, but I'm nearly sure it's Anastasia. So this is the box it came in, and this is the actual Beauty Express container. So it's a really kind of luxurious looking container. It looks like a leather covering to it, so it almost looks like a book. And then on the inside you have instructions first of all. So for anyone not sure what to do, this tells you pretty much. Then it also came with a wee angled brush. So this wee fella here, it's just a basic angled eyebrow brush, and it comes with the different stencils inside, and you know, they all have different names like high arch, I think this is the one I use, petite arch. So oh no, actually this is the one that I'd used. I think I may have used the other one on it, but they have a few of those ones there. So unless you're like have the thickest of thick brows, you should have one that'll suit you. I think that probably does suit thinner, maybe more sparse brows a bit better, because you know, it's kind of harder to give a shape to quite thick brows anyhow. Then there's the instructions again in English. You have a mirror, which is handy, and then it comes with the brow wax, then your brow powders. So this, I went for the blonde colour one because even though I'm not blonde anymore, I still always use like the blonde shade of powders in my eyebrows, because my eyebrows are, this is the natural colour of my eyebrows. So you can see there it's quite a dark colour. So if I put dark eyeshadow over my eyebrows, it gets too dark for my own tastes. And then also it comes with this eyeshadow duo. So you have a highlighter here and a powder, just like a brown powder that you can use for contouring or whatever. So it's a neat little thing, handy I suppose for a bag if you're on the go or whatever. It is a wee bit big, but it still is handy, and I'd say it would definitely be very handy for people who are not used to doing their eyebrows or who aren't very confident in shaping their eyebrows. Personally, I find these a bit more fiddly than handy because I know how to do my eyebrows already myself. But they are definitely going to be handy for people who want to learn how to do the shape, or you know, who honestly have no idea how to do proper shapes for their eyebrows or about the ratio. This goes on the golden ratio, you know, the Leonardo da Vinci ratio. So it's about the different lines adding up. So for instance, like say with my own eyebrows, they'd be roughly there where they start, which is right here to there is where my eyebrow should end, so it's just a little bit short of that. And then I think for the center they always say go up through or just to the side of your pupil, so roughly there, and that is roughly where mine is. So that'll just give you a rough idea of how to do it. But this has each of these little lads here have those lines on it, so it'll give you an idea. So yeah, the petite arch is what I'm going to use. And they say to apply the wax first, so I just use the brush and then apply the wax. So the wax is very waxy, it'll keep the hairs in place. So you don't really need to use a brow gel or like your clear mascara or anything afterwards once you have this on. And the idea of putting the wax on first is that it gives something for the powder to cling to as well. So just like so, and then you get your, now always make sure you like wipe off that brush or else use a clean one so that you're not getting loads of wax into the powder. So then this I think is what I've used before. I'm going to go with this shape just because I don't want it to thicken my eyebrows. Now my eyebrow natural hairs are kind of stuck behind there because they're longer, but it's roughly the same shape of my eyebrows. The only difference there is the tail. But you just kind of hold it against your eyebrow like that. So you can see there it fits fairly well. And I will start at the end here first. So I use the darker shade at the end. Just use the darker shade at the end first, and you fill in this. Now the only problem is that it doesn't cling to the skin as well as the hairs, so it would be better if it came with a little eyebrow pencil for the skin, you know, any skin where there's no hairs over. And then I'm just going to get the lighter powder next and just brush that through the hairs of the rest of it. So you can see what I mean by it's a bit more of a hindrance for me because it's a bit fiddly. You have to keep this in place and then go around it with the brush. So you just pull that off and then you get, now you can go as graphic with this as you want, but I don't like to go too graphic with my eyebrows for a natural look. And then the part that this little bridge covered, you want to fill that in, but it's easy to just fill it in because it'll just naturally go from, you know, the part over here that you covered over to this part. So there you go, you can see it's given quite a defined look, especially to the end of my eyebrows, and you can see the difference there. But you can also see, I'd say, why I said I like to use the blonde powder, because that has still darkened my eyebrows, even though it's quite a light powder. Like I used that one over the body, the main body of my hair, and then just the dark on the ends. I also use this on my sister, so I'll show that to you now. So Etna's a natural blonde, so it's good to use her, I suppose, to show the blonde kit. And also she has thinner eyebrows than I do, so it may be a bit more beneficial for someone like her who has thinner, less defined eyebrows. So I went with the petite arch. You can just kind of place the different templates up against your eyebrow first to see what suits you best. And then to use the templates, you just need to take off that little bit of plastic that covers the shape first of all. So that comes off fairly easily. So that's how it looks there. And then the little brush that comes with it, you just need to load that up with brow wax first of all, and then apply that to the hairs and a little bit around the skin as well. But to be honest, the powder still doesn't stick too well to the skin, so mainly on the hairs. I cleaned off my brush in between using the wax and the powder so as not to get wax in the actual powder and, you know, dirtying it up in the pan, and then carefully place it over her eyebrow so that it fits her shape kind of in the most natural way. And I applied the lighter powder onto Etna because I just felt that the darker one would be too dark for a blonde, and she's not even the lightest blonde in the world either, so it is quite a dark powder for a blonde, but I suppose it's just there to cover all spectrum of, you know, different blondes. So I just used the brush and started brushing it through the brush hairs, or the eyebrow hairs, and get as much or as little of that on, depending on how defined you need your eyebrow to be. So once you think you've enough powder on, just peel off the template from over the eyebrow and then fill in that little bridge area to make sure there's no gap. Now there's still a little bit of hair left outside of that template once we took off Etna's, or on Etna's eyebrow. So what you could do is just fill it out a little bit, or you could literally just pluck those hairs. And there's the difference between her brows, one being natural and one filled in. Okay, so that's both my eyebrows done there, and you can see it does give a really nice defined shape to the brows, but I would be quicker doing it myself. That's just because I know what I'm doing though. So I definitely would think that this would be good for people who are kind of new to makeup, or if you're just not confident in shaping your own eyebrows, or if maybe your eyebrows don't have a natural arch like mine, because I do see a lot of girls come in who have very sparse eyebrows that literally have no shape to them, so it could be really good for that as well. Or for makeup artists who want to use them as an instructional like kit, so you know, for doing lessons, teaching people how to do their eyebrows, it could be really, really handy for that. As far as price wise, it's $39.50 in dollars. So it's definitely not, you know, cheap. It's slightly more on the pricey side for what you get, and it's up to you, I suppose, to decide whether you think that's a good enough price or not. As far as I know, it's available on the Anastasia website. I'll link to that below either way. But that's pretty much how you use it, and then you can use this as the highlight and then contour a little bit with the eyeshadow if you want. So it would be handy for if you are on your travels and you want a few bits in one go. You could even maybe use the darker colour as a bit of an eyeliner over the lash line. And of course that mirror is handy. So definitely for people who, like I said, need more of an instruction, need more of a guidance as to how to do their own eyebrows, it'll come in really, really handy. So yeah, check it out anyhow. I'll leave links below, and any other relevant information will be on my website, letsmakeup.com. So thanks a million for watching, guys. Chat to you soon. Slán.